Good morning guys, welcome to the video. My name's Derek, also known as Tap Peddler, and today I'm back out on the barn doing some more work. Plan today is to start back building the roof rafters, and I need to put the wall plates on the top. Take up the ladder, you can see top of the wall. I'm just working my way along here, just cleaning it up. As you can see around here there's a lot of debris and stuff like that, so it's basically a case of just chucking it off, pushing this sort of stuff off, brushing it like that, clearing it all the way along so I can put a wall plate on the top, much like I've got over there. You can see along there. And then I'll start to build up the rafters. I'm going to repair the tops of these walls, but because I'm on a time limited thing, I'm going to do that after the roof is actually on. I just need to remortar the stones and stuff. I might have to do something over there because it does look like it's dipped down there, but once the wall plate's on and it's spreading the load, then I can do it from underneath basically. That's my plan with that. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on clearing all of this and hopefully get a couple of rafters built today if the weather plays ball.
A few moments later.
Okay, so here's a little bit of an update for you. There you go. So I've covered this much so far, and I've just got these ones left to do. It's proving quite tricky to get it so it matches in with these walls because the barn actually bends round, but trying to keep the ridge straight so it matches in with that eventually. It's quite tricky, but I think it's working out. So here I'm reusing these old beams. Most of these are okay in certain sections, so I'm cutting out the really bad bits, and that leaves me with good wood for these ties, these collar ties. I'm going to be ordering new wood for the lower tie, so it'll save me a couple of £100 by using that wood, which is worth it, I think. So that's the progress so far. I think I've got another 5 rafters to go. So let me show you how I've been approaching putting these up, pretty much single-handedly. I've got a bit of wood that goes across the bottom, which is level. It's very important it's level, and that sticks out, and then I've got the same on that side, and the top of the wall plate as well, here and along there, and they're all level. So then I've got, let me bring you around here, I've got 2 templates here. I've got one for the front and one for the back. They're slightly different. I'm assuming that the wall is actually lower on the back side than the front, because it does seem to be pretty central in the middle. So yeah, so I've got two templates, and basically they're the ends of each beam. So I'm ordering a 4.8 meter beam, and I basically use these templates and I cut each one off, and that allows me to get them all the same, which results in them joining at the top correctly and then also sitting on the tops of the walls. This one's slightly different because it's about half an inch difference, but it doesn't really make any difference really because the wall's not straight anyway. At the moment I'm bracing them. I'm leaving all these beams in place because I'm going to stick a covering over that anyway in the interior, so you won't see any of those, and it's just extra bracing. They're not proper bracing, it's just bracing until I get the proper bracing in, which will be sort of similar to that. It'll be cross beams going across, screwed to each rafter, but I need to put the lower ties on first because they're going to go above the lower ties, and they're basically going to be like this. They're new wood, but they're 150 millimeters wide and 4.8 long, so they're going to stretch all the way really far, and I think I've catered for 2 or 3 of them to go across all these beams. So yeah, and it's a case of doing that, and I'll show you how I'm lifting up the beams in a second as well. So I'm keeping the ridge as straight as I can. I mean, it's not perfect, and that's because the walls actually aren't straight, so the ridge does sort of move like this, sort of. But I'm trying to get an average, basically, because none of it's straight. I'm trying to get an average of it looking okay on each part. The back is the least important to me because obviously that's not going to be seen as much. But the back is going to ride out quite badly over here, I think, over this end, because that wall actually bends in at the end. But I'm reasonably pleased, and I'm just hoping that all these slight differences, the roof panels, because they're spread over 1 meter wide, they're going to hide these slight imperfections, or at least try and cover them up. Yeah, and I'm reusing the old ties that used to be there. Basically, these ones are basically, if you have a look at this one, this is damaged at the end. The actual middle bit's fine. This bit's rotten here, but as long as I cut here and here, hopefully that will be long enough for one of these. These are 190 wide at their widest part, and I should have enough to get to the end. Pretty sure I will have enough. If I don't, then I'll just use a different bit of wood. I've got plenty of bits laying about, because I'm trying to save money on them, because after the old rafters came down, this has cost quite a lot more to put all these up, and I really want to have brand new wood going across here, because that's going to have the cardboard shelf areas made out of this OSB board, which I need to be pretty strong, although it is just going to be the weight of the cardboard on there, so it shouldn't be too bad, but you know, I want it as good as it can be. Yeah, so I'm putting these bolts in on each one, and I'm putting 4 nails. I'm missing out the top nail on each of these top ones, just in case I need to trim off the top of the tops to get the ridge plate to be as level as I can. but I am putting a screw in there, so basically the idea is if I do need to trim it off, I can just unscrew that screw. So it just adds a little bit of extra strength in there. Yeah, so I'm reasonably pleased. Let me show you how I'm lifting these beams up after I cut them. I'll cut them first actually. Okay, so this is an example of how I'm cutting the rafters. I'm putting it in place like that, making sure it's all square, and then I'm basically drawing the pencil mark down the end. There we go. So now I know I'm cutting there. So right, it's a 45-degree angle anyway, so the saw is set to 45. Excuse the missing safety blade cover that broke off, so I need to send this back. However, I want to finish off this job first, so I'm just being extra careful in using that without the safety blade, which isn't advisable. Don't do what I do. Nothing to see here. Yeah, so I'm cutting that, and I'll do the same with, this is going to be for the front beam, and then I'll do the same for the back beam with the other template, and then I'll show you how I lift them into position single-handedly. Okay, so the way I do it is I get this beam into position. So let's lift it into the scaffolding. Like that. And that can just stay down. We'll lift the other one up, and then I'll lift them into position properly. As you can see here, I've lifted up these beams now, so they're identical to the ones next to it. And you can see on the top there. So I've put a screw in here which basically holds them together, and I've put a screw in here that holds this one to that one. So it's basically braced. Obviously it's only held on by one screw, so I need to be careful. But that allows me to then come down to this area and put in the bracing. So I'm going to now put in the bracing all the way along this long piece. This is just rough bracing. This is the old wood that the old tiles hung on. So I've just picked up a piece that is in pretty decent condition, and I'm just going to run this along the length here. Just lift it into position like that, screw it to these beams here, and that will allow me to get this into the correct position for the next one, because it basically just lifts on and goes against it, and I know where to screw it on so they're all level. And it also gives me something to screw the next rafter to when I move it out and get it into position. Along here I can screw it into here, and that'll hold it in place. as I drill the holes and stuff. So I'll demonstrate that in a minute. All this will be hidden anyway once the cover's on, because I'm going to put a fabric almost like ceiling on here. It's not going to be plasterboard or anything. I'm just going to put a fabric, staple it on, but hopefully this one will stretch all the way along to the end, so I won't need to put another one on. Right, so now I've got my 190 cut tie here. I've cut from the older wood, and I've put a screw in each end, and basically all I need to do now is just lift it up so it's level with that and position it so it's a nice position on the end of the rafter, and screw those in, and that will be perfectly level, so I'll get the same result as that. So I'm very happy with doing that, and then I drill a hole through, same as I've done here with my drill. As you can see, I've now got the beam tacked in just with this screw, and I'm going to just drill my hole in, and then literally punch the bolt through. On the other side here, I can put the washer and the nut on. I'll do the same with the other side. Then I'll be able to take the screw out, and then I'll be able to hammer in 4 nails, and then that will be complete. And then I will move this the correct distance along this beam and then adjust it at the bottom. So as you can see, I've moved this now just enough, just a little bit, just tacked it in there, and that will allow me to get the nuts on the end of these things and hammer them up. Put the bolt in there and hammer around there, and then I can shift them along. Right, so that's the upper tie secured on with the bolts, and I've also done the top bolt there as well. Now, as you can see, pretty much okay for the ridge. Happy with that. Basically, I'm keeping it as straight as I can here, whilst keeping this as sort of straight as it can be to allow for the correct run off to the gutters off the ends of the walls. That's quite difficult to get, but it's basically, I'm trying to get the best of both worlds. But I'm reasonably happy. Might need some adjustments here and there as I put the roof on. But I'm quite pleased with the way that's gone. It's pretty central, and I'm on course to meet the end of the wall there. And I said I've got this temporary bracing as well. I'm just leaving that in. Yeah, so now I just need to put in my nails on each part. As you can see now, I've now moved it into position, which is 60 apart. And now it's a case of going down to the bottom and moving it, so it's also 600 millimeters between each rafter on the wall plate as well. Okay, there's another day done in the barn. Managed to get 3 more rafters done. Once I've got the lower beam on, I'll be able to then put a string from the top, have it dangling down, and that will basically allow me to move it until it's level. That is my plan with that. Yeah, so I've got 4 more to go, so I reckon another day and I should get to the end, although I've run out of wood. I've probably got enough for another 2 rafters, but to complete it I need to wait until Tuesday because there's another wood delivery. You know, that's okay, I can wait. Get some eBay done in the meantime, or I also need to mortar all of that in, repoint all those bricks, so maybe I'll do that when I wait for the wood. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next instalment. Bye for now.